We are about to see the most massive summer of all time when it comes to Premier League transfers. I think this is going to be a record-breaking summer. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why this will be the most expensive summer of all time in the Premier League. Let's just look historically, for a minute at what we've seen over the past 3 years in the Premier League for summer spending. Last summer in 2024, £2.08 billion were spent by Premier League teams. And we know, of course, that Liverpool contributed to nearly none of that. And that's fine, whatever. 2023 is the current record. £2.36 billion were spent in 2023. Liverpool did contribute to that, albeit maybe not as much as we might think seeing that number. They spent quite a bit, though, on players like McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Endo. Okay? That's besides the point. That's the benchmark right now, $2.36 billion. The year before that was $1.92 billion. That was the previous record. So there we have it. Now, I'm saying 2025, summer of 2025 is going to be insane. And I've got 5 reasons why. Here's number 1. Arsenal need a big boost. They might not admit this, but Arsenal, they're not going to win anything with their current team, okay? They literally don't have a striker. They have just injury crisis galore this season. And they have a manager who, probably is not going to be able to get this thing done in the next couple of years because, Liverpool now sit at the top of the Premier League and Man City will be back most likely. And now they're competing. Honestly, they are competing more so with Forest right now than Liverpool. And you've got teams like Chelsea who are going to spend. Newcastle might even feel the need to spend next summer or this summer if they get Champions League football. So there's a lot of competition here, and Arsenal are going to need a big statement this summer when it comes to a starting striker and probably other reinforcements in that team. So I expect Arsenal to spend this summer because if they don't, they're just going to be poor again next season. I expect Chelsea to spend big again this summer. Clearly, what they did last summer when they spent, again, a massive amount didn't work. And so they're probably going to need to make some changes because they are just in a dangerous position of not getting any Champions League football. And with the way that top 4 race is shaking out right now, they could be in big trouble. And so I expect them to just kind of go out and spend like crazy again. I don't know how they keep doing that, but I expect them to do that again. Manchester United, oh boy, do they need something. Manchester United needs pretty much a full rebuild, top to bottom. And if, the Man United, I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know where they're going to get the funds to do this. Maybe they need to go out and sell basically everybody to fund a full rebuild. Maybe Bruno is the guy who gets the axe and has to leave to fund a revolution here because Ruben Amorim, he is in for a ride with this team. They are very bad and very old, but I think they're going to be spending this summer in a big way because if they don't, it's going to be a long season for them. So those 3 in particular pale in comparison to this next team. It's Man City. I think they are absolutely going to go nuts this summer. They spent $200 million plus in the winter transfer window here in 2025. It didn't work. It didn't help. They have been petering out. They crashed out of pretty much every competition except for the FA Cup. They're still in that one, I think, but did terrible in Europe. Crashed out of that, and they've been really poor by their standards in the Premier League. And so I think they're going to feel entitled after the court cases didn't really do anything. And I think they're going to go out and make a statement. And, what are we going to see? $300 million spent by them this summer? I mean, I think it's going to be absolutely insane because we know Pep cannot win unless he spends big. And that's been a theme throughout his entire career. Okay. Man City, they're going to go insanely nuts. And, of course, our very own Liverpool slot revolution. I think needs to happen this summer. It's probably not going to be nearly as big as any of those other 4 teams above them, but it needs to be big, and I think it will be. And I think, it's not going to be the net spend that's large. I think the net spend could be actually relatively pretty low, but the spending could be massive for Liverpool this summer, depending on what Arne Slot, Richard Hughes decide they want to do. But you look at those 5; those are only 5 out of the 20. So you've got 15 other teams. You've got teams like Forest. You got teams like Newcastle. You got teams like Tottenham. There's a lot of teams that need a lot of help. What's Bournemouth going to do? Bournemouth could make 3 or 4 sales this summer and then go out and actually reinvest most, if not all of that, to bring in some new talent. So, this is going to be a busy summer for the Premier League. And, man, it kind of makes me nervous. But at the same time, I'm excited because I think Liverpool are going to be in the thick of it, and I think they're going to be doing some spending themselves. So I'd love to know what you think. Get your comments in below, as always. Up the Reds.